Hello everybody, it's vanburman here. Welcome to today's video. Just want to talk a bit about, well, what you see behind you, which is E3, of course. And it's the well publicized event where the various different platforms get to come and show off what great titles are going to be coming out for their consoles. Now, the point, or one of the ideas I'd like to think about on this particular episode is whether E3 is really needed or not. Whether it's actually important and whether we should care about E3. I personally have not been tempted to go and watch E3. And I only watched one a couple of years back. And that was purely for the Final Fantasy news. Because I had a very specific game that I wanted to see. Now, obviously, with Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 definitely not being discussed at E3, I found it quite difficult to have any real sort of desire to go and watch it. I mean, I know The Witcher 3 was on there, but now it's on Steam. We're going to get updates through that page anyway, I should have thought, as it's on pre-order and they'll be trying to convince people to go out their way and buy it. So I appreciate that it's a really big event, and I've heard some people calling for it purely to be streamed and shown on television rather than it being an actual event. Now, I don't agree with that. I think that there are many things where you can have really great live experiences, and then, there are also there are many events during the year where game developers go and show off their new toys and the new games that are coming. Talk about the new games that are coming out. But E3 this year seems to be probably one of the least interesting ones for me. And you would expect that, considering we've got a new generation coming out, or has already come out, you would think there would be a whole set of new games that I would be massively interested in playing. Now, I'm not an FPS kind of guy, and I think that is a real big downfall. I mean, I'm not tempted by the likes of Watch Dogs. I know Watch Dogs is already out, but I'm not tempted by those sort of games. I'm not tempted by what you see behind you. This Battlefield and Call of Duty stuff, which I'm sure both were talked about at E3. And the problem is that the genre of RPGs is just massively cut across, and it's not really discussed enough. There's not enough games coming out, and the games that are coming out aren't coming out over here, which to me just seems stupid, especially in the age we live in, where it's so easy to get information from one side of the world to the other. And none of it really sparked my interest, and nothing that I know of that's coming up that makes me think, yeah, I want to go and watch E3. Because the stuff I'm likely want to see are going to be coming out at later shows. So, I mean, I appreciate that. Well, from what I heard, the Witcher 3 stuff was pretty good, but I'm trying to keep myself as far away from that as possible. And of course, that leads on to a whole new thing where they come to E3 and release some amazing game footage, and then by the time it comes out, it's nowhere near as good. Aliens, Colonial Marines, and, well, I didn't realise it, but I watched Angry Joe's review on Watch Dogs, and there's such a big difference in quality between the games that it was shown at E3 and the quality in which it's come out. So to a certain extent, you can watch this and not believe a word of what the game developers are saying at E3. And despite this man's got a huge chuff look on his face, I'm really not impressed. I think maybe they should just have their own individual conferences and do it. I mean, I know they do their own, but their own events each, and do it that way. But I don't know. To be honest, none of it really does spark my interest at all, which is a shame. Is that because I'm not a console gamer anymore? Well, no, because you get a lot of the same games that will come out on Steam and will come out on, or on Origin or some other PC platform. And the only thing I can sort of give it some credit for is the fact that there is this entertainment value. People who like gamers have got something to watch, like, casually. I presume it would be a really good event to go to as well. And it is something that, if I was able to, I would love to go to E3 and have a walk around and experience it. But in terms of whether it's necessary for the game market and if you should really be that bothered about it, I'm just not so sure. I think if there's good stuff coming out, you know, you will hear about it without needing to watch it casually on E3. And it's very rare that we get any major surprises. I'll be really surprised if we get anything major from Square Enix. If we get anything major to do with RPGs, other than The Witcher, although I guess you could argue that, you know, that is perhaps more of an action-adventure game. Look how excited those people look about Magicka 2. Goodness me, they can't wait to play that, can they? I actually haven't watched any of this. I just literally put this on to be in the background while I talk about it. Just to give you a show, if you don't know what E3 is, of the sort of thing that goes on. So, yeah, I'm not overly impressed with it, and I probably won't be watching any of it, to be honest. But, you know, that's just my point of view, really. You know, we have all these early access games coming out, and that's a way of seeing it and playing it, you know, before it's ready to come again. So, yeah, that's pretty much about your lot for my video, my thoughts on it. If you have your own individual views on it, which you will do, then put them down in the comments. I'm more than happy to read up on what you guys think about it, because of course it would be, you know, really interesting if you enjoy E3 for what it is, or, you know, if like me you think it's probably a bit outdated, but, you know, you can appreciate why people go there, and, well, it's one of the best platforms for the main parties to show off a bunch of stuff all at one time. Then you've got the other problem of people trying to rush out content so that they can release and talk about it at E3, which, for me, I don't always think is a good thing, but hey, that's the way it is. If anything major does come out of E3, because I'll hear about it if it is to do with RPGs and that sort of stuff, then I'll obviously make a comment on it. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't really see any point in sitting there and watching E3. I've got other things to do. And of course the World Cup starts soon, so that'll be, although I think E3 will probably finish by then, but still. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hopefully this has been of some value. Probably not. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed now. But I'll see you all later. Cheerio. I'm not going to start saying cheerio. Goodbye.